And Manchester United about to enter crucial negotiations with PSG yet again over another player. Hardball has started with PSG. Price tag set for Nuno Mendes. Not what Manchester United wanted to hear. They do have an advantage in this deal, though. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that price. We're going to talk about what Andy Mitten has said about Marcus Rashford. Damn! Hold on to your hats for this one, everybody. This doesn't get any more reliable than Andy Mitten when it is an honest opinion about what Marcus Rashford really is and is all about Manchester United. Honestly, when I read it, I thought, you know what? I actually feel a lot better having seen that, because that's exactly how I've seen him, and that's exactly how I have come across, and that's how he has come across with everybody else as well. And really interesting read on that. When I get into that one as well. Osimhen still on for January. Where's that come from? Joe Bellingham, Manchester United will be going in for him apparently in the summer. All of the transfer news, all of your Sunday roundup here. 8 o'clock. It is match weekend, everybody. A little bit different, obviously, because Saturday was a day off, but all games being played today. United are playing tomorrow. Obviously, we'll get into little bits of that in the show as well. And make sure that you're up to date throughout the day. But more importantly, please do get your comments into the live section, please, everybody. Make sure you have subscribed and liked the video as well if you haven't already. Fantastic. Get your thoughts in on Marcus Rashford. I'm going to start with Nuno Mendes first of all, and bring that story and up to date you on that, and then we'll get into everything else. So please do keep the conversations flowing in the live chats, everyone. So yeah, when it comes to Nuno Mendes, we talked about what's happened so far. Manchester United interested, then a bid going in, then personal terms agreed apparently with his agent. This all happened in the space of 2 days just before the transfer window opens, and automatically you start to think, right, okay, if we're going this far down the line, if it is reliable, which it is in terms of the sources, then Manchester United really are going for Mendes in January, and that's how it looks. But of course, you're up against the hardball negotiators in PSG, and I only say that simply because of what we were used to and how drawn out Manuel Ugarte was in the summer. So Manchester United have to really set their stall out here and prepare themselves for what is to come. We haven't got as long to negotiate. Obviously, we've got 1 month to get this done, and we all know how long Manuel Ugarte took with PSG. They played hardball with him. The only bonus that United had with Nuno Mendes compared to, say, for instance, Manuel Ugarte's situation was that Manuel Ugarte had a long contract. Nuno Mendes doesn't. His contract ends, as we know, in 2026. So at the end of this season, 1 more year to go. But I'm just going to read the report on where we're at after Manchester United were reportedly in contact with him and had agreed personal terms with his agent already. This was never a problem. Of course, as we know, Manchester United with personal terms, there's never any issues with that in any transfer, in anything that we do negotiation wise. So the report reads, Mendes is one of the most highly rated young left backs in Europe. The fact that he already knows Amorim and his playing style would also be a bonus. According to the French sources, the French club have set a high price tag for the defender at around 58 million, which would be a major hurdle for Manchester United to overcome. However, with Mendes clearly keen to leave PSG and unlikely to sign a new deal, those demands may be lowered in order to avoid losing him on a free when his contract expires, in the summer of 2026. There are cheaper options for United, for United's hierarchy to consider, including former academy star Alvaro Fernandez, who would cost around 16 million due to the buyback clause inserted in his Benfica contract. So that basically is the bottom end of this full read up. Everything else in that article was around what we'd already discussed in terms of Manchester United approaching the player, his agents, going in with a bid for Nuno Mendes. The price tag though, 58 million, it's ridiculous. It's PSG being PSG again, isn't it? There's no way that they will be able to hold out for 58 million for Nuno Mendes. Not a chance in hell. With 1 year left in his contract, even PSG would not chance losing him on a free transfer. Look, Manchester United could play hardball themselves here, agree to deal with the player, and then have to wait out 1 more year. He will still only be around 23, 24 at that stage. So it's not like we're losing out on a player, we're buying someone. But the only problem you've got is, and there are positives to it and there are negatives to it. The positives will start with Manchester United, the situation we're in. Nuno Mendes has turned down a deal and an offer from PSG to sign a new contract. He doesn't want to be there. It's as simple as that. And like I've said before in previous videos, Luis Enrique, when you're not part of his setup, you are kind of freezed out a little bit. You're phased out of the football club. And this is what's happening with Mendes now in his appearances this season. So United hold the cards that Nuno Mendes doesn't want to sign a new deal. So that's going to force PSG into a corner, you would think, anyway. And you've obviously got Manchester United already making contact with his agent, and he is obviously worked with Ruben Amorim before. He's keen on a move. He's flattered by the interest from Manchester United. All roads lead to Manchester United with Mendes, and it looks pretty good for the Reds. It looks like it's a player there that wants to come. It looks like a player that knows the style of Ruben Amorim, and all of that works out well. The negative, on top of that, just to balance it out with what PSG are going to do. We know that they play hardball. They know they're not going to succumb to any demands of Manchester United. United will be able to get that price down, but I'm thinking United really are looking at the 25 to 30 million with a player on the last year of his contract. They're not going to bid any more than that. Will PSG play full-on hardball with it? They're not using Mendes now. The only thing in our favour here is them losing out at all. They're losing out on anything at all in terms of transfer fee. Can they get anything? The problem we've got with it, though, is that we know their stance on transfers and how they work. We figured that out in the summer with Agate, like we said. But it's the fact that he isn't playing and Nuno Mendes just falling off completely in that time that it's going to take for us to get that deal done. That's if we play hardball and just say we'll take him on a free. You're always risking the player completely falling off. And if he's not playing at all, then really, when you look at it, I would say you've got to be aware. I mean, you only have to look at like players that have been out for a long spell of time that aren't playing a lot of football. They fall off, they lose a touch, and it can happen to big stars, even though he's a quality player. We've seen it with many players before. That's the fear, that he just completely falls out of form because he's not playing. He loses interest, all that sort of concern. What I think might actually happen here is, and we've heard this phrase before, and we've heard this term before in terms of loan with obligation to buy. I think United want him in January. I think there could be a loan option with a more substantial fee to be paid to PSG once the summer transfer window opens. I think that's where United want to go with this one. They will take him on loan and they will pay a fee to PSG in the summer. I don't think PSG are looking out to replace Nuno Mendes this January. So that opens up an avenue for me. This is just how I'm reading it. It's only my opinion. But I'm going to come to the chat on this one in a minute just to get your opinions on this. I think if United do get a free 6 months, for instance, out of him, maybe we can salvage some part of the season. I know he's not going to fix every single problem. And he has to fit in with the rest of this team. They were crap at the moment, obviously. There's no guarantee. There's never any guarantee with anything in football. We know this, but it's a player that we know he's definitely going to fit in and know what he's doing in Ruben Amorim's system. So it's a pretty much, it's as close to a guarantee as you can get with Mendes coming in. The problem is 58 million. I think that's what PSG will want in the summer. They still feel like they can hold out, and they will make that player wait. They will play hardball, I feel, and it's that fine line in between. What is the price for Mendes between PSG holding out and wanting their price, but then taking the chance of losing him for nothing in the summer of 2026, and what Manchester United can afford right now? Because let's be honest, PSG are probably not in as much rush as what United are. Their season is fine. Their season is just going along as normal. Manchester United's has fallen off a cliff and is on the brink of disaster, and PSG know this. So when it comes to the need in all of it, Manchester United, like we did with Manuel Ugarte, we need this player in, and PSG really did not budge. We got an alright deal, and I think we got a good player anyway in Manuel Ugarte for the price. But United are not going anywhere near 58 million for Nuno Mendes. Not a chance in hell that price comes off. And they will have to make a decision, because PSG, I think, are in a position to just go out through the whole January transfer window and not be in any rush at all with this deal. They can wait out another year. The player's still got 18 months on his contract, let's not forget. He'll have the rest of this season, and then he'll have one more year, and things can change. They might not even have Luis Enrique in the summer. Something might happen. So I think United have to look at all of that, put it into one, and say, right, how much do we want this player right now? How much can we afford to put out on this player in January. Not a lot of money going off reports. And if it's basing it off selling players on, then United really are in a position where it's loan with obligation and then paying a higher price in the summer. I don't know what that price will be, but it just depends how badly Ruben Amorim wants Nuno Mendes ahead of every other option that we've got. Like the article says there, there's £16 million waiting there for a left back in Alvaro Fernandez at Benfica, who is playing brilliantly at the moment. And United could save a lot of money there. It's all about Amorim. It's all about his system, and it's all about what he wants. Is it a necessity that we get Nuno Mendes? He is a brilliant player, and he is going to fit right in at United. But we've got no money, and that's the problem. I'm going to come to the chat on this now just to get your thoughts. 100 likes in pretty much already. Thank you, everybody. Creeping up to 1,000 in the room. Early doors. Make sure you've liked the video. Subscribe to Forever United TV as well, everyone. Thank you so much. Let's get into the comment section on this. I'm just going to start off with the overall sort of general sort of pricing on Nuno Mendes and get your thoughts on this. Thank you, James, for the gifted membership as well. Guy, I'm a legend. Welcome to the members club. Let me just see where we got here. Anything? Why would PSG start their opening gambit at a price United are happy with? No, I'm not saying that at all, Harper. They're not going to. They'd have to be realistic. No one's going to pay 60 million, and it's up to Manchester United. See, I don't think United want to pay 40 million. That's my point in what I was making. In that they thought they were going to be able to get a player with 1 year left for 25, 30 million. That's pretty much what you would be looking at. The value of him is 50 to 60 million. That's his market value without any contracts being negotiated in or discussed. So United will not go near anyone at that price. Not with a year left on their contracts. And it's up to United. Are they willing to pay? I reckon PSG are probably looking for the 40 million mark, because I think that's pretty much what they spent on him, and they will get their money back with 1 year left. That's a good deal for PSG. Are United willing to spend 40 million on a player that they know they could probably get free if they could wait it out? The problem they've got is they cannot wait it out. They need players now, and there is other players there they can get that are cheaper. But do you go for your top target? Is it more of a priority to go for your top target and pay more, or pay less? This is what United have done in the past. And United fans, where we've moaned about certain prices that we paid out for players, knowing that this player is the top target and is a quality player, do you go out and pay the money that's necessary to get the right footballer in to fit this system of Ruben Amorim's? Or do you think we've got to save money? Why are we thinking that we should save money? That's what I'm coming at here with this one. Let's see what else we've got in here. United tax clubs always up the price when United come looking. I don't think that's going to be the case anymore with the United's predicament and everybody knowing about financial fair play and the restraints that are in place. And it's going to be a tough one for United this next window when it comes to negotiating if we haven't got any standing in Champions League or anything like that. Honestly, I fear for us going into the windows. And Ineos really are going to have to pull something out of the hat with this. Nuno Mendes is from Cristiano Ronaldo Academy from Sporting and not from Benfica. I didn't say that. I was talking about Alvaro Fernandez at Benfica. So, yeah, Ricardo, I know he's from Sporting. That's why I said he's worked under Amorim before. I was talking about Alvaro when we were talking about Benfica. That's where he is. They could be going high to counter to Rashford and money in a swap deal. I mean, honestly, if we can get Rashford out in a swap with Mendes and just get that man gone from the football club, do it. Make it happen. That's what I say. You have to go all in on trying to move Marcus Rashford on, because that's going to be our next topic that we get into in a minute. I'm really interested in read on that one. But Alvaro Fernandez, only in the summer, 20 million. No, we can get him in January. That deal, again, Ricardo, you're wrong with that one, has been rectified. That was a false story about it can only be in the summer. We can do it in January as well. Let's see. We only sign injury-prone players. He's not injury-prone. He's not been injured all season. He's very injury-prone. No doubt United want him. Justice? No, he's not. He's not been injured all season again. People looking at a whole history of a player and not the actual short term. I mean, you could have said that about Mason Mount. he was only really injured in the last 18 months of his Chelsea time before he came to United. But before that, he wasn't injured at all. We're looking at players, and people have said this about Alphonso Davies as well. Like, injured at the start of his career, but then the last 2 years have been better. It's the same with Nuno Mendes. He has been a lot better over the last year. He hasn't had as many injuries. He's just been left out of the squad by Enrique. That's been the problem with him. PSG don't need the money. That's why oil states-owned clubs will always have the advantage in every negotiation. They're under no pressure at all. No pressure at all. Adam is so confident about Ineos that it is shocking. Am I? Really? Where are you getting that one from? Let's read on though. These bozos spent 3 months haggling over Agate, only to end up paying the same amount after 3 months, but too late to get pre-season. Really? No, they didn't. They spent a bit less. They negotiated the deal a bit less than what it was at the start. And who said I'm confident in Ineos? You probably did not watch the video last night, did you? Say it as I see it. That's basically what I do. And you can only say and talk about what has actually happened. And the issues that I had last night with Ineos on that video were clear for everybody to see and get an opinion on. I think I made it quite clear, to be honest. What's wrong with Nuno Mendes? How come he played 27 league games in 2021-22 season, but only played 6 games last season? Not talking about that now, Jay. We're talking about this season and how he's been available through the whole season. Are you going to go back and say no to a player? Look, Manchester United could say that about Lenny Yoro. He's been out for how many months? Do you know what I mean? Like, injuries are injuries. That's what happens. He wasn't injured for Amorim at Sporting. He was injured at PSG. Things are different. You can always look into injuries. I look at the short-term injury situation with players, as in the last year. And he has been a lot better and fully available so far this season. So something is definitely right and something has changed there. So you have to look at that, I feel, more than anything. Just what is happening here and now, I think, is very important. Sorry, you're right. Tomorrow against the Geordies. Oh, sorry, someone else's comment. Yeah, tomorrow we're playing Newcastle. And, yeah, not confident at all. Anyway, I want to move on to... Obviously, we touched on Marcus Rashford there and what might happen. Could United negotiate Marcus Rashford in with Mendes for PSG and get Rashford over there? Hopefully, yes. Hopefully, yes. But when you look at Marcus Rashford's situation right now, and this one is damning. This one is really bad in terms of Marcus Rashford, because Andy Mitten has been talking again from The Athletic and has said, look, these are the words coming out of Andy Mitten's mouth, by the way. Every previous manager has had issues with Marcus Rashford. I've spoken to them. I know them. They've told me in confidence, going back years and years and years, this kid is a problem. Marcus Rashford has been an issue for every single Manchester United manager. That's come from Andy Mitten. And there is no one more reliable and honest in that industry than Andy Mitten. I can take that as a guarantee. He is well connected with Manchester United, better than any other journalist out there. He's probably one of the best connected journalists in the country. And that has been said by every journalist and every other member of the media that I have spoken to. They always talk glowingly about Andy Mitten. So you can basically say that Andy Mitten, and he's the one who got that interview for United We Stand, the fanzine, as well, with Sir Jim Radcliffe. That's where the whole "this is like Manchester United comparing him to Fulham" interview came from. That was Andy Mitten. He knows everyone at Manchester United. And if he says that Marcus Rashford has been a problem for years and years and years with every single manager that he's had at the football club, then you can take that as that being 100%. Rashford has caused numerous problems for every single manager that has been at Manchester United over the last 8 years. It's shocking how Manchester United have handled Marcus Rashford. It's pathetic how he is on this type of money. He's on these contracts. How he is being held up by the football club as the saviour over all of these years. Like, Rashford's got talent. He has. But he has got massive, massive problems as well. And when you've got people like Andy Mitten coming out and just laying it out there like that, it quite clearly shows that, look, even my fallout with him, what happened there with Manchester United and everything in the mix zone and things like that, you can just tell he thinks he's something else. And the sooner he is gone, the better it will be for Manchester United, and more importantly, Ruben Amorim. Andy Mitten goes on to say he doesn't think that it's his wages that are being the driving force behind the move and moving him on. But i.e. basically, it's not Ineos, it's Ruben Amorim that's making this happen. The manager does not like him. I think that's quite clear. Look, there is absolutely nothing that Ineos can do to get anything out of Marcus Rashford. It's down to the manager. There's nothing that Ineos can do in the Rashford situation until the transfer window opens. All it is now, and why we're not seeing Marcus Rashford, is because, again, like Andy Mitten said, he's found another manager that he doesn't like. And now he's fallen out with him. He's not playing because we've got someone with a bit of backbone who stands up to him. So this is where we're at right now, with Ruben Amorim struggling to get anything out of him in training and not going anywhere near him in the games. That's why we've not seen him in any matchday squad. Manchester United desperately trying to move him on, even in this January transfer window. Honestly, right now, I'll ask the chat actually, and if you are watching later on, would you just swap Mendes out for Rashford? No money exchanged, Rashford's gone with his wages, Mendes is in at Manchester United. Would you take that deal right now? Because when you balance it out, so Rashford's value is 40 to 50 million. That's the same as Mendes right now. Would you take that deal? I would jump at the chance to bring Mendes in at 22, who has worked under Amorim and knows him and is in a position that we need desperately. I would jump at the chance to get Mendes in. And like we've talked about swapping position for position, I get that. I really do. But right now, there is nobody out there that is going to buy Marcus Rashford. They have come unstuck in every single country. There's no one that wants him. Juve don't want him. The Saudis will take him, but he doesn't want to go there. Real Madrid don't want him. Barcelona can't afford him. Athletic can't afford him on the deal that he's on. Nobody is going anywhere near Marcus Rashford. So when an opportunity like this comes around, and you can get Rashford to a position and a club that he would probably see fits his ego and his stature and how good he thinks he actually is, just get him gone. Just get him out of here, please. Make the deal happen. It's not like we're getting nothing. We're getting a quality young player coming in a position we need, that Ruben Amorim knows he can trust, and getting rid of one he can't trust, who has caused umpteen problems for every single manager, like Andy Mitten says, over the last 8 years. Out of the club, wages gone, ego gone, issues in the training room gone, big problems, influence on other players gone, and nothing else to talk about or moan about with Marcus Rashford ever again. Make it happen. I don't know if they'll be able to. I don't even know if PSG want Marcus Rashford. If I was them, I'd be steering way clear of him, like every other club is right now. And honestly, like even with all of this going on, like Rashford and his people will still feel like he is this big deal. Like no one wants you. No one wants. Is this not a big sign? No, they'll still be convincing themselves that they are the big deal and that they are the player that everybody has hyped him up to be at Manchester United over the last 8 bleeding years. Good player, very good player, but wasted. That's all you are. That's all you are. And I'm concerned that we won't be able to get rid of him. United will take a loss on Rashford in terms of the actual market value of the player. We know that. I just feel like these swap deals are the only hope that United have got right now. They really are. That's all we've got in terms of getting any value out of Rashford. It's getting it back in value in another player. That's the only way I think we can make anything happen, because money exchanging for him, no. I don't see it. I don't see it unless United take a massive, massive hit. I don't think we're willing to do it in our financial predicament that we're in right now. Over 1,500 in the room, only 250 likes. That should be way over 300. Please like the video if you haven't already. Make sure you have subscribed. A few of you have. Welcome along anybody who is a new subscriber. I'm coming into the chat right now to get your thoughts on this one. In terms of that deal, would you take it? Nearly everyone in the chat. We had a yes, 100%. Give him away. PSG wouldn't take that deal, says Harper. Harper's just on a downer at the moment this morning. I feel you, mate. I really do. If it's on, yes. Yep. I'm just asking, would you take that deal? Not if you think it's going to happen. Absolutely. So I think, do United look at it that way as well? Like everybody can see the issues that Ruben's having at the club. Like when you are leaving a player, a first team player out with that much experience, out of your matchday squads, there are major problems within. and you will do everything that you possibly can to help your coach out and get rid of that player. That's all that Ineos can do right now. Bend over backwards to try and get him out of the door. And if you can bring a player in the other direction, well done. That looks great. Only if Mendes will be on 100k or less a week, Firestarter. Come on, we have to be realistic. We cannot be saying that players should be on a certain wage. He's going to be on more than that. Just accept it. He's going to be 100k plus a week. He's come from PSG. He's got better. He is maturing. He's 22. You're not going to get him for less than 100k a week. We can't say that. MA says, when clubs buy players, are they obligated to pay them the same salary? No. If so, why do we increase players' salaries when we sign them? Why not pay the same as they were on before? Look, everyone's wages goes up at a certain age of player, don't they? I think United have been doing it just to entice players in at the moment over the last few years because we've been crap. Come to us, we'll pay you more. This is the project. Why not earn more money while being part of turning Manchester United around again? That's the sales pitch, isn't it? That's all Manchester United can offer. Other clubs would say, look, you're guaranteed to be playing at the top level where United can't offer you that, but you're on less money. Where is the player's head at? When you're younger, you're probably thinking that I've got more of a chance to earn money later down the line as well, and you might go to that other club. But United are just trying to entice teams differently and players differently. And I think that's the problem that we've got, in that we're not a settled side. We're not a continuously well-performing at the highest level team right now. And when you put that into any sort of option for a player, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult for that player to say yes to Manchester United when you've got a safer sort of option on the other side, if that makes sense. Mr. Start of the stream, what's the price from PSG? Are asking, says Craig. Anyone who is just joining us, PSG's starting price for Mendes is 58 million. It's not realistic. It's not realistic with him having one more year left on his contract, but still, I feel like that will come down in negotiations. We're talking, will United move him in to a deal with Marcus Rashford and maybe entice PSG in with a swap for Marcus? I think Marcus Rashford would definitely accept that deal. I think he would be happy going to PSG, but there's a lot to sort out in that one. And it's a left wing back for a forward. We still need a forward if Marcus Rashford goes. That's the problem as well that we've got. Mark says, so Rashford's been a problem for every manager. There's 10 years a problem, you say, but why give him a massive contract 2 years ago? Don't add up. Yep, doesn't add up. And this is the protection that these players have had from the football club. And how Manchester United have been run is scandalous. It's not Marcus Rashford's problem. He is the problem. And that's the difference. Marcus Rashford is a problem for everyone else, but not for himself. Not when the club are giving him what they are. Not when he has got this hold on every single manager. Not when every manager is bending over backwards to protect him. Obviously, the hierarchy would then look at that and go, well, they're keen on keeping him. Well, something was going wrong with every single manager with Marcus Rashford, and something has gone wrong in the way that United have handled him over his time at the club. And it's come to a head right now where you've got Ineos coming in who want results instantly, and you've got a manager that they're going to back who doesn't like the player. And I think finally the right combination of ownership and coach is going to out Marcus Rashford for what he really is. And now everybody feels comfortable. Even Andy Mitten wouldn't do this or talk about this if he didn't feel comfortable that United were trying to get rid of Marcus Rashford. He wouldn't risk it. He wouldn't risk his contacts at United in saying this. He's been honest in what he has been told before by many managers and coaches at the football club. And he's come out in confidence saying this because I think United are desperately trying to get rid of him. I think he divides players in a dressing room. Adam, I agree. Andrew. Paul says, yes, definitely sweep Rashford. He's like a spoilt kid. Had his own way and not good for younger players. I will drive him there myself. Mank in LA. Great name. Big up from LA, bro. We need a whole new team. Yeah, I think everyone can agree with that super chat, definitely. Players are different these days. Players years ago was about playing. Oh, sorry, that's gone off. Playing the game. These days, players are about how much money they get. Agents running the game. Agree with that one, Andrew. David says Liverpool have good pay structure. You perform, you get paid more. United get paid more and play rubbish. True, but Liverpool are about to lose 3 players on a free. There you go. Super sticker from Zane. Zane, hope you're doing well, mate. But you must be nervous about playing Man United in the FA Cup. Can't afford to lose that one, buddy. Because if you do, that's your trophies gone for the season, mate. And another trophyless season for Mr Arteta. Don't go bottling it now, mate. Let's see what else we've got here. Ineos are making some bad decisions, but the fundamental problem is that the contracts given to poor players for years and years, which we can't get out. No tar in the chat, definitely. That's always been the part. I think that's obvious, isn't it, with everyone? We can all see what has been going wrong over the years, and we can all see how we've come to a head right now with it, and why we're all talking about it. That's what it is. It's the mismanagement. I mean, if Ineos were in the last 10 years, do I think that this would have happened? No, we might not have been happy with Ineos, but we definitely wouldn't be as crap as we are now if they were running the club for the last 10 years. That's for certain. Because we wouldn't have given these players these contracts. We wouldn't have let these players run these managers into the ground. We wouldn't have let them dominate what's happening in the changing rooms and dictate what's actually going to be on that pitch in terms of team selections. Because that feel is where the managers have been at over the last 10 years. They have been under that much pressure from the players, from the fans, from the hierarchy, from Manchester United, just thinking that you can just carry on doing well after Sir Alex Ferguson and then mismanage the club completely in thinking that things are just going to carry on as normal without putting the same amount of work rate in and effort into running United properly like we did before with David Gill and Sir Alex. It's poor people in positions that cannot do the job properly. If Ineos were in situ at Manchester United over the last 10 years, I think we would have been challenging for titles. Definitely, because they wouldn't have allowed United to get into this state. Not bailing them out on what they're doing right now. I think they're being brutal and I think they're treating the fans wrong. But I just wanted to say like that beforehand, if they were in, I don't think we'd be in the position we're in now. Alex with a super chat. Thank you, mate. Would you make a deal with some hedging fund like CMC Capital to have an ultimate flow of cash, but then have to pay it all back with a smaller percentage? I mean, I think they have looked into that before Ineos actually came in, and I don't think it's the answer. Definitely not. Looking into it, like them hedge funds, they don't care about the club. They have a set date, and they will come and take their money back or take something else away. I don't think United can, because there's no guarantee that the cash flow is going to stay there at United to afford repayments. Right now, obviously, we have got what we've got, and we can probably just about keep our heads above water in terms of repayments on the debt. If you added that hedge fund debt, that's even more brutal and would definitely cripple Manchester United. Why? Because we're not consistent enough on the pitch, and that's the problem. Exactly. Mitten is not to be trusted with that theory. He's just saying it as the club asked him to do. It's to force the move. He has an attitude, but he's not the only one. Bruno and Nacho are just as bad. No, they are not. No, they are not, MB. Bruno and Garnacho are not Marcus Rashford. They haven't had years of this. I will not have them tarnished with the same brush as Marcus. He's different. You can talk about on the pitch, whatever you want, but don't even put them in the same category together as off the pitch and what they do. Garnacho and Bruno Fernandes are nothing like Marcus Rashford. Definitely not. Newcastle preview video will probably be later on, everybody, and we have got tomorrow morning show as well. So yeah, that we'll be talking into that as well. James Smith with the super sticker, thank you, buddy. Love that. 1,600 in the room, almost 400 live likes. Thank you, everybody. Love that. Jude Bellingham to Manchester United. That is another story that's doing the rounds. I mean, seriously, I don't know. He's contracted until 2028 at Sunderland. Manchester United apparently are going to up their efforts to sign Jude Bellingham in the summer. Actually, right now, Rick would probably be my option over Job. I really, like I said, I'm not just saying this because he's the younger brother of Jude, and Jude's the better brother. He clearly is. He clearly is. And I'm not just saying it because I don't want the second-rate Bellingham or anything like that. He has got qualities. He's a good player. No. is my answer to that one. I wouldn't go near Joe Bellingham. I wouldn't go near him. I'm not slagging his qualities off. I just think there's better younger players. That's all I'm saying. If we were going to spend money on a player that's contracted till 2028, I'd rather go for the Diblings of the world. I'd rather go for the Chris Riggs of the world. Just as an example at that level, I think, because it's not the. I think his name is highlighted more because of the obvious and his brother and things like that. But for United right now, I just think there are better players in that age bracket. I think there are better players in the Championship than Joe Bellingham that we should be going for. I mean, straight away, players that spring into mind that are young, that are probably going to be in the Championship next season. You look at Chris Rigg at Sunderland, yeah, they may come up. You look at Joe Bellingham, he's another one that we just mentioned. You look at Diblin, who's probably going to be relegated with Southampton. You look at Ipswich, and obviously you're looking at... I forgot his bloody name, the striker now. His bloody left me. Oh, my God. But you all say, because the 19-year-old... Oh, what's his name? It's just gone out of my head. Someone tell me in the chat anyway. But you know what I mean. Adam spot on. Rigg and Dibbling definitely over Joe Bellingham. Delap, that's the one. Delap. Yeah, you're taking Delap, you're taking Rigg, you're taking Sibling. These players that are probably going to be in the Championship next season over Joe Bellingham. I think that's where United need to be looking. We are looking at other talent, obviously, around South America and around Europe as well. But yeah, let's be real with this one, I think. Like, Job, yes. Not being disrespectful, no. Just, I don't think Manchester United would go out and buy him. Not for the money. Not with Manchester United's finances. Like, if we're going to spend anything, it needs to be on quality. Absolute quality. We haven't got enough to just be testing the water with Joe Bellingham and hope that he actually comes good. It needs to be a player that comes right into the 11. I'm sorry, like, you can buy potential, you can invest in potential, you can spend a little bits of money, for instance, like Diego Leon that we brought in from Paraguay. But when you're spending big money, and I'm talking anything over 20 million, cannot be in the reserve bracket. It cannot be in the hopeful potential bracket of player. Definitely not. That is not how Manchester United are going to get any better. Right now, with the money that we've got, it needs to be invested into guaranteed starting 11 players. And I think we need at least 5 of them to turn Manchester United around. The story regarding Osimhen is another one from sort of like... we had cold water poured on this story the other day. But Manchester United are prepared to spend 63.3 million to sign Victor Osimhen from Napoli in January. That's come from another source from a Man United aggregator account as well. No, we're not. I don't like. We want him. That's a guarantee. Look, United want Osimhen. I think we can safely say that is 100% guaranteed. The other side of things is, no, we're not going to spend 63 million in January on Victor Osimhen. That ain't happening. United want to... A good one there from Zed. Like Liam Delap, Dibbling, Chris Rigg, Cunha and Nori. Yeah. They're the types of players United will be looking at well ahead of the likes of Joe Bellingham. 100% certain on that one. There are just better players out there, that's all. He's good, but there are better options. And I think that's where we need to be looking. When it comes to Osimhen, I feel like we're going to be looking at him in the summer alongside a few other strikers. Unfortunately, if you're going to ask me honestly right now, and I'm not saying it's off the table, I don't see United getting a forward in January. And this is the problem I've got with where I'd want Marcus Rashford gone and Mendes in. If we can make a swap deal with them two, fantastic. But we need another forward. We're talking about loaning Xerxes out. Rashford's never going to play. 2 forwards gone. It kind of makes you think, like, yeah, it must be looking at someone, surely, in that front line, because Amorim cannot survive. Like, United will be relegated. Like, it sounds crazy to say this, but if United loan out Xerxes, if United got rid of Marcus Rashford, both realities right now for January, because it's been talked about so much, and Rashford's not even playing at the moment anyway. If United get rid of Xerxes, if United let Rashford go, and they don't bring anyone else in, you have to say that that's relegation concern. And that's not me just trying to get a clippable headline there in saying that. I just don't think that Manchester United right now are in any position to be letting players go like Xerxes if they're not going to bring anyone else in. We need the squad depth. We need players there. Even if it's a player being there like Xerxes to give a 20-minute rest to, say, a Bruno Fernandes who's going to keep playing 10 because there's no other options. Or give Ahmad a 20-minute rest because we need him for the next game. Or Rasmus Højlund needs 20 or 30 minutes off. You need Xerxes for that. You cannot afford to let Xerxes go. Unless someone else comes in, of course. And I don't know what's going on. This is why the January transfer window is so intriguing as to what's going to happen. Ineos's first January transfer window, massive issues within Manchester United squad where Ruben Amorim needs big backing. This window could be massive for Manchester United in so many ways. I do think that we are going to see a lot of shaking and moving within the January transfer window for United. Just quickly, everyone, while you're in here, well over 1,600. That is mental. Creeping up to 500 live likes. You guys are awesome. I'm going to be live at 9 o'clock again over on Football Talks. The link is in the live chat. We've got the paper round. The paper round returns through popular demand this morning at 9 o'clock over on Football Talks, our other channel, everybody. So we're going through all of the papers. There is United stuff in them paper talks as well. So come and join us for more news on that. The show continues, everybody, on Football Talks. So click on the link, subscribe to Football Talks as well, and join us there at 9 o'clock this morning, where we go through all of the Sunday papers. We used to do it every week. We just got that busy. It stopped. It's back. It's coming back. And that this morning pretty much finishes everything that we've got to talk about United. I will be back probably round about lunchtime today. There's a load of football this afternoon, so the schedule's changing today, everybody. We probably won't be doing anything later on this evening. It's going to be more around about lunchtime, early afternoon, and then the football just goes through from early afternoon all the way through. So as you know, we like to get the football in. We like to watch the football. We're not usually live while the football's on. So that will be happening. If anything else comes about later tonight, I'll be covering it anyway. So just stay tuned for that one. But I'll be back live probably around about lunchtime anyway. Take relegation. Loads of waste will leave. Yeah. Will we be able to bounce back from that, though? Thanks for the super chat, mates. Thank you for all the contributions today. Thank you for all the likes. We're about to hit 500, which is mega. Like the video on the way out if you haven't already. Subscribe to Forever United TV. Subscribe to Football Talks. The link is in the live chat there right now. And I'll see you over there in just a few minutes. Thank you, everybody. See you in a bit. Have a great morning.